Hello, SpongeX here with part 2 of Garry's Mod Models, a series where I showcase all the different models in Garry's Mod. So, yeah, unfortunately, there won't be any sound effects in this video. Something went wrong when I recorded this. Somehow it changed the default microphone to a different one, so I need to make sure I double check that every time I record from now on. But, so, not only that, but also, the wrong microphone was set for when I tried recording my voice as well. So I was originally doing live commentary, but I had to go back and edit it again. So resuming from where we last left off, we're looking over more Pokemon models. There aren't as many as there were last time though. So there are like. Otherwise, to start off, yes, we're going to get the Pokemon models out of the way. That doesn't mean that there won't be any more Pokemon models down the line. Otherwise, for like the one from Brewster's model pack, this is basically, let's just get this out of the way. But on the bright side, being forced to, considering how all the audio went out, this allowed me to go over the footage and kind of trim out a lot of parts that I deemed unnecessary. And so I basically ended up cutting out like an hour from the original length of this video. But originally, the video I originally recorded was an hour and 44 minutes, but I was able to cut an hour out of it because some of it kind of went nowhere. So, yeah, there's that at least. So, yeah, there's no denying that while it's cool that you got Pokemon and Gmod, these models are kind of bad, to be honest. It's mainly because of how they're rigged. Either they have too many bones in them or they just deflate or flop around way too easily. And, oh my god, like this one is a nightmare. How are you even supposed to pose this thing? How is this even a Pokemon? This is a giant fortress. This is like something you'd see in a sci-fi film. Can't remember the name of that Pokemon, but I think that was from Sword and Shield. It was like the final boss of the game, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that's a nightmare to pose with. But then again, what Pokemon in this game aren't nightmares to pose with? Ugh. Another heaping pile of garbage. However, I will admit, this allowed me to notice some Easter eggs on it I never noticed before. Like the fact that it actually has a Pokédoll of Clefairy stuck in it. And then also a flat-out Master Ball. It has a Master Ball stuck to it. It's like, that's actually pretty funny. Otherwise, it's still a giant pile of crap. And then it has a bus lodged between its butt, or a train or something. Yeah. Either way, this is a gross Pokemon. Is that a Magikarp tail? Oh my god, that's a Magikarp tail, and you can see its bones. Yikes. So yeah, I apologize. I don't remember the names of a lot of these later Pokemon. I can remember a lot of the ones from like the first 4 gens, but then it's like once Black and White came out, that's where the names became pretty complicated. Well, I at least know what that one is. That's Galar Linoon. And then let's see, Gigamax Machamp. Looks so derpy. Duh! Galar Meowth. Not really a fan of this one, to be honest. But oh man, the Gigantamax Meowth, that is nightmarish. They turned it into a wacky, waving, inflatable, arm-flailing Meowth. Or a tube Meowth. Oh my god, it's like, that is just creepy. Let's see, what's this one called? Octagoon or whatever? Galar Linoon's evolved form. This thing's a nightmare to pose. It's just a limp weasel. Berserker, not a fan of this one either. Persian's a much better evolved form. Reggie Drago or whatever. Yeah. Just falls apart. Regieleki, I think was its name. That was the one I was able to get when I had Sword and Shield. I don't have the game anymore though, but yeah, I didn't think it was that great. Honestly, I like Brilliant Diamond a lot better. Let's see, the Galar version of Kafakrigus, or whatever its name is. This one really moves like a puppet. Can't remember its name, but the giant tornado cobra. Yeah, I like its Gigantamax form where it turns into an actual rattlesnake tornado. That's awesome. And this is what it normally looks like. Very anticlimactic in comparison, but not compared to its de-evolved form, pre-evolved form. So I forgot to mention, I shut off an option that I got rid of, like both the glow effect and the side beam effect for when you're picking up objects. So it kind of makes them look more interesting when they move around. I mean, unfortunately, you still see the gun. If there's a way to get rid of the gun, just have the crosshair, I'd easily do that. But I'm afraid if I were to do that, that'd also make all the other weapons invisible, and I don't want that to happen. But the Galar Stunfisk, I love this one. I love how its mouth looks like a Pokeball, and then it looks like a bear trap as well. That's just awesome. And this is stupid. The Galar form of Yamask, it's just a regular Yamask, but with purple eyes instead of red. Let's see, Galar Zigzagoon. I like the Hoenn version a lot better. Exceligor. Never really liked this Pokemon, to be honest. Ampharos, I always liked this one. That was my powerhouse back in the Johto region. Its ears aren't very good for flexing though. But oh man, compared to its Mega Evolved form, this is more tolerable. I cannot get the Mega one to stand upright. Somehow its hair gives it head weight, makes it fall over way too easily. Ugh, never liked this Pokemon. I'll admit its pre-evolved form's kind of cute, but this one, Audino. I think Audino's adorable, but I think it would be cuter if it didn't look like it had its eardrums hanging out of its ears. Gross. Man, I don't remember Audino having a Mega Evolved form. Remember Mega Evolved forms? I miss them. Baltoy? Boldore, I think was his name. I remembered liking this Pokemon. Bronzong. His arms are way too flappy. He's made of steel, for crying out loud. Cacnea. Chandelure. Awesome Pokemon, but unfortunately it's a nightmare to pose in this game. Claydol. And they say there's no Jewish representation in Pokemon. You flat out have a dreidel Pokemon. Kafakrigus. I have no idea how you pronounce his name, but cool looking Pokemon, but a nightmare to mess with in this game because its limbs are just way too heavy, despite how they shouldn't be. Craigonal, I think was its name. Snowflake Pokemon. Let's see. Driftblim. Drifloon. Let's see. I like how Dusclops, his hands are separate so you can move them around, and I'm going to give him a good spanking. Let's see. Dusknoir. Unfortunately, you cannot open his mouth. You know how he has a mouth in his stomach. You cannot open it, unfortunately, so you can make him do this. Make him look like an idiot. Duskull. I always thought that was kind of a cool Pokemon. I loved how, at first you think it has two irises, but then you realize, oh no, it only shares one iris that can go between each eye socket. It's kind of creepy and cool at the same time. Excadrill. I always kind of liked this Pokemon. I remember, I'm trying to think. I think he was from Black and White. I remember, he helped me defeat the Elite Four. He was in my party when we won. But Flaffy. I don't think Mareep was in this pack, but its other evolved forms were. But I cannot remember this one. But let's see, Regice. Surprisingly, that one was easier to pose. But Regigigas, the big veggie taco Pokemon. I mean, seriously, you can't tell me it doesn't look like a veggie taco. Let's see, Regirock. Registeel. I think Registeel is always my favorite out of the original Regis. Roggenrola. Sentret. Love the Pokemon, but I hate his model in this game. Look at that. That is just, ugh. Looks like roadkill. Someone cricked his neck. Serperior. Let's see. Servine. This one's a nightmare to pose, especially if you want to try posing its limbs. Good luck trying to grab the arms. How tiny they are. Let's see. Can't remember that thing, but don't care. Smeargle. Or Smeagol. Or whatever. Smeargle was. Smeagol, that's the guy from Lord of the Rings. That was Gollum. Okay, let's see. Snivy. Remember when, before Snivy was officially revealed, like how when people first saw him with no name confirmation, everyone was calling him Smugleaf? Good times, good times. Yeah. Swoobat. Buttugly Bat. Oh god, this thing looks nightmarish, like, just trying to get it off of the ground, it looks possessed. Venomoth. Kind of like how it looks like it gave a head tilt there. Venonat, I always thought he was kind of adorable. Little ball bug. Volcarona? Interesting Pokemon. It's just a giant lava moth. I think this is one of the worst models I've seen ported into this game. What is with his mouth? There's just something wrong with it's like it's sinking in on the sides, and the back of his head looks way too deflated, and this was not really well made. Let's see, Woobat. Because why not? Ears are way too flappy again. And then Yamask, the regular form. And Zigzagoon. I think that's it for the Pokemon. For now. Okay, so here we have another model from J.C. Thornton. Sawyer from the underrated animated movie Cats Don't Dance. Oh my god, I love that movie. So, unfortunately, Sawyer is the only character from that movie that was ported into a model. It's a good model overall, though. And just like some of his other models, they have body groups that you can change into different outfits. And even worse, no outfits. So, strangely enough, she has, like, she for some reason has a bikini outfit. She has, yeah, I don't know why she has a swimsuit, but... or you can just give her nothing, yikes. Otherwise, it's a decent model, though. It really looks like oh, the face posing on this is such a nightmare, but can give some funny results. But, yeah, I like that model. So, Chaos Zero, this is an interesting one. It would have been cooler if it was actually animated, texture-wise, like if it actually looked like he was made of, like, moving liquid, but otherwise, as it is, it's a cool model, though. It's transparent, just like the actual model from the game. Chaos Zero, that's one of my favorite Sonic villains. I'd love to see him appear in Sonic the Hedgehog Movie 3. They did him no justice in Sonic Forces, and then it's even more frustrating when you realize it wasn't even the character. So speaking of Sonic Forces, here's the model of him from that game, which I honestly thought was kind of cool looking, but once again, it's not an animated model. Okay, here's an interesting one. Peach from Mario Golf. What was it called? The new Mario Golf game, Super Rush. That's it. Yeah, like very unique outfit for Peach. She's never wore this before until that game. However, I feel like the model's nice, but I hate the skirt physics in this. Like, look at how her leg keeps clipping through it. That's real annoying. Otherwise, she's easy to pose at least. Like, she's very flexible when it comes to arms. I don't think she has any face posing or very good facial expressions, though, so that's kind of a shame. And she has no physics in her ponytail, so her hair can't bounce around. That's a shame. It just makes it look so stiff. And then, even worse, we have this model from Mario Kart 8, and, yeah, honestly, like, the Wii U was probably the last era where we had some of these bad Mario Kart models. I think, like, people were able to give it a slide back then because they just thought the lighting and shading looked so much better. But, yeah, the models on Mario Kart 8 were not very good, to be honest. I will admit, though, I think they did a good job with the dress physics here. That's really nice. Otherwise, I think this model just looks wrong, though, with, like, the face and the arms. And it wasn't until the Switch era where they finally stepped up making Mario models to be more expressive. And okay, so here we have Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I think this was the first model of Conker ported into the game. This happened like over a decade ago, probably, and so at the time it was a pretty good model, but honestly, there's better Conker models out there nowadays. It looks like it was kind of mistextured though. Like if you look in the center of the tail here, you can see these little yellow stripes. I don't think that should be there. Otherwise, he has a flexible mouth, but the unfortunate thing is that this is a model pack where all the Conker expressions are assigned to separate models. And so there's a better Conker model out there where you can actually change the expressions by changing his body group. And so here we have another J.C. Thornton model, and also a Conker model, Barry, from Conker's Bad Fur Day. And so yeah, I've seen a lot of people praise this model. Many have said, like, this looks better than the actual model from the games, and I kind of agree. Like, I like the detail they gave her in Conker Line Reloaded, like how they made her look fuzzier. Otherwise, she just wasn't expressive. It doesn't help that you barely saw her in the game. And so this model is really well done. I do wish the limb posing was a little easier, though. Like, trying to move her arms or legs is a little tricky. Otherwise, like, moving her head is much easier. And so she also has, like, hair physics. So, like, it'll move around. So, like, if you swing your head around, her hair will swing around as well to match with it. It's really cool. I love the facial expressions they gave her, too. So, it's funny to see this character who barely had any inclusion in the game and give her more expressions, and some of them are pretty funny. And then also, just like his other models, you have the body groups. So you have this one dress up. There was like this one back when Conker's Bad Fur Day first came out. They made these flash animations, and one of them was where Barry was playing as a character named Gloria, and she was basically like a sexual misconduct kind of like instructor. She's trying to teach people how to respect women, and so Conker accidentally ended up in her class, and so she had an outfit like that. And so it's cool how J.C. Thornton made that into a separate outfit, and so. He also made a Conker model, which is also pretty decent. Personally, I think I kind of like the Line Reloaded model a lot better, but I still think this is a pretty decent model. It definitely has J.C. Thornton's style to it. I mean, look at him. He's sexy and he knows it. So he also has body groups. So you can give him bloodshot eyes. You can give him his other outfits, including his shirt and pants from Line Reloaded or even 12 Tales Conker 64. And so, yeah, you can also get rid of his gloves and his shoes. And so, yeah, to think originally when these models came out, it was just the N64 design, but over time he upgraded them to have the different outfit swaps, which is pretty nice. Okay, and then we have the Sergeant Squirrel from Conker's Bad Fur Day. I don't like it as much as the Conker Barry models, but it's fine though. I just I guess the character just wasn't too memorable for me. But so here we have I cannot remember her name, but the Sneaker, I think was her name. She was from Conker Line Reloaded's multiplayer mode, and I'll admit, like, I didn't like the multiplayer of that mode, but I did it. I will admit she was an interesting character, though. Her gameplay was a lot like Conker's combat when he fought with the frying pan, except she had a katana, and so she is mostly like the stealthy character, the ninja, basically. And yeah, I remember she was kind of an interesting character. Too bad you really didn't like. I mean, design wise, I mean, obviously you don't know who she is. You didn't see her in any cutscenes or anything, but yeah, cool character though. She also has hair physics, just like Barry, so cool. Not enough models have that. I swear, there's so many models in these games where you can't mess with their hair, and I hate that. Because in real life, people's hair doesn't stand still when their head is lashing around. It moves to go with it. And so I like how J.C. Thornton was able to program that into his models. But okay, so here's another Conker pack. Not by J.C. Thornton, though, but these are direct rips from Bad Fur Day. And so here we have Mr. Scarecrow Birdie. And so, yeah, I like this model. It's a little stiff, though, but that's to be expected with a Scarecrow, I guess. He does have face posting, but it's a nightmare to work with. Yeah, you get some real horrifying expressions when you try to change his face, so... Otherwise, here's the other Conker model. So this is the one that I said was better. My only complaint, though, is the tail. For some reason, he has, like, a cream color under his tail, and he did not have that in the original game. Otherwise, I like how he polished out the textures. Like, his eyeballs look a lot smoother, where they looked very pixelated, even in the original game, so... Yeah, also the model's slightly easier to pose compared to the original Conker N64 model. So yeah, this is overall a much better model, and he also has a bunch of facial expressions and that you can change your body groups and even some little outfits you can give him. This pack also has some really cool accessories too, props from the actual game. Gave Conker kind of a creepy smile there, but yeah, as you can see, you can change his eyelids, the shape of his eyelids. You can give him all of his different hats from the game. Different props as well. His Neo glasses. Yeah, I can't believe J.C. Thornton forgot to program that into his Conker and Barry models. He forgot to give them their Matrix outfits. Then you can also give him the toothy grin. You also got Neo Conker as a model. No Neo Trinity, or Trinity Barry, I mean, but... You also got Conker in the robot suit. Anti-gravity chocolate. And even his Game Boy. And if you look close at the back of the cartridge, it looks like it says Killer Instinct. I remember a lot of fans were speculating that, yeah, Conker was probably playing Killer Instinct, and that flat out confirms it. Along with a bunch of other props from the game, including the weapons. And then there's only one other character model here, and it's the Panther King. And unfortunately, this one's kind of a nightmare to pose with. He doesn't have any body groups or many facial expressions to work with. He does have face posing, though, but just like Birdie, it's kind of a nightmare to work with. But yeah, this character's hard to pose with, and he only has like one body group, and it's Squint his eyes. But yeah, you can make some funny faces out of him, though. Oh god, this atrocity. His Project Spark model. Oh god, that was such a downgrade from how he looked in Live and Reloaded. Yikes, I hate that. Okay, so here we have some models from Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. So here we have Crunch Bandicoot, and I don't like how shiny they made him look. It makes it look like he just bathed in grease. Otherwise, I do think the models from these games are great, and some of them look fine in Gmod. Unfortunately, Crunch is not one of them. But the body groups, they give you some of their alternate skins, which is nice. So here we have Fake Crash. Such a weird-looking character. I love the detail in this game, though. Like how fuzzy they made the characters look. I honestly miss Vicarious Visions. I like them better working with the Crash series. I was not a fan of the art style in Crash 4. Come to think of it, I did not like Crash 4 at all, to be honest. I thought that was very bad. Everyone was praising that game, and I thought it was nothing special. So, speaking of nothing special, Nina Cortez. What was this guy's name? Nitrous Oxide or whatever? But It's ugly, isn't it? You look at it! Yeah. We have a Daffy Duck player model. Pretty nice model. I'm not sure if it was actually ripped from anything, but if it's a custom model, it's a good one. Let's see. Kasumi from Dead or Alive 5 in a bikini. Hubba hubba. So yeah, it's got nice posing, but darn it, the ponytail is stiff as hell. So it just kind of takes you out of the experience. Otherwise, for body groups, you can change her bikini color. That's it. Yeah, oh, God, here's some nightmare fuel. Dehydrated SpongeBob from, ironically, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom rehydrated. More like dehydrated in this case. Oh, that's so nightmarish. And so, okay, we got more Kasumi models from Dead or Alive 5. So, this one might take a while to go through. So here we have her in her default story mode outfit, where she had like the ninja agent outfit. It looks like. And so these models are nice, but once again, it's like it has no hair physics. Otherwise, they're easy to pose. They have facial posing. It looks like she's getting down. And then they don't have a whole lot of body groups, though. Although you can either change their hairstyles or you can even give them a shine effect, like how in the game, like when the characters got sweaty, how they'd start shining. And yeah, you can activate that on them. And so, unfortunately, like with the other ones, like here we have some recolors of Kasumi's original outfit, and they have like no physics to them. So like the little skirt does not like flap or anything, so that looks kind of distracting with how stiff it is. Stiff as a board. It just doesn't look right. Otherwise, yeah, her limbs are posable though, but if only the rest of her was. Like her hair and her clothes just isn't flexible, so it just does not look natural. Let's see, this was one of her unlockable outfits. She wore during a part during the story mode, but her kimono. And so, once again, this one doesn't really have any physics, really, so one of her alternate ninja outfits. Mostly feels like a recolor of her default outfit. And then a swimsuit, and you have a body group to get rid of the wet shirt. Yep. Okay, overall decent models. I just wish there was more flexibility with both the hair and the outfits. Okay, Tina Armstrong. It always surprised me how this character was voiced by Kate Higgins, the same person who voiced Tails from Sonic Colors all the way up to Sonic Lost World, and even the voice of Pauline from Mario Odyssey. Here was one of her revealing alternate outfits, and geesh, I wonder why it was so hard to unlock. I can't imagine why. And then her default outfit with the cowgirl hat, and overall decent models. Okay, here's a very lewd-looking outfit. One of Kasumi's Halloween costumes from one of the DLC packs. It just makes her look like Rachel from the Ninja Gaiden game, and yeah. Not gonna lie, I felt very strange with this one. Very seductive. Okay, here we got DK64 player models. Unfortunately, Tiny Kong is not one of them. I don't know why. Otherwise, I think it's cool. You know, some N64 models are badly ported into this game. I can say these still look nice. Unfortunately, they're not good for posing. This one, on the other hand, is good for posing. I'm not sure what game this is from, but it looks like it was from either a Wii U or a Switch Donkey Kong game. But you can also give him bulgy eyes. You can also give him the big toothy grin, get rid of his bow tie. I don't know, I think I'm going to make that my thumbnail for this video, just to make him that face. Eggman from Sonic Unleashed, one of his better looking models. One thing I always loved about this was how detailed they gave his mustache, how detailed they made it. I mean, I love that. The rest of him still looks cartoony, but they made sure to give him detail on his mustache. Otherwise, his arms are impossible to pose, but at least his feet are more posable, so that's cool. And then, oh god, get ready for some nightmare fuel. '06 Eggman. Now, I remember back then, I thought it was cool that they tried making Eggman look more realistic. Nowadays, I find it very unsettling. And not to mention how he has eyeballs. Ugh, it's just so disturbing. It's even more disturbing when you take the glasses off. But, it's like, that's a version of Eggman where you do not want to go inside his basement if he invites you. Oh, we're not done with the nightmares. I found these player models for Aerith and Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. And, oh my god, they are just nightmarish. Just look at their eyes. What is wrong with their eyes? It looks like someone bashed them in the forehead with a hammer. And, oh, I tried adjusting it, and then this happened. Oh, God, this is just nightmarish. And unfortunately, the posing's not much better. So, yeah. I mean, that's common with player models. It's very rare for a player model to actually be a good ragdoll. So, yeah, it just makes them look nightmarish when you try posing them outside of being a player model. And, Tifa does not look any better. Oh, God. Even the hair, there's something wrong about the hair. It just doesn't look lush. It was somehow poorly rendered. I mean, the rest of the models look fine. It's just the eyes and the hair that really gets me off. I know the models look much better in the games they're from, but the way they were ported here into Garry's mod as player models, it doesn't look right. So here we have Yuffie from the Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC, and never played it, but only because I don't have a PS5. And honestly, I'm not even sure if I'd want to buy this even if I had one, because I did not like Final Fantasy VII's Remake very much. But, so here we have Riku from Final Fantasy X in both of her appearances. And yeah, I think this is a decent model. They got the face right, the texture's right, and it's easy to pose. And the crazy thing is, I think this is also a player model. So this is a player model that also works really well as a ragdoll. That's great. It's really hard to come across those sometimes. Here we have Yuna from Final Fantasy X-2, and so yeah, I actually tried playing that for the first time recently, and yeah, I can see why it's such a divisive game. Compared to Final Fantasy X, the story was a mess. I couldn't even complete it because it doesn't give you a good idea of where to go, and then eventually it comes to a point where you've done everything you can, then you're forced to complete all the missions in like any order, and you gotta like 100% in the game to get to the final level. It's like, no thanks. I made it as far as I could to the point where I've seen every cutscene I could until all the objectives were complete, and I just lost interest. I thought the combat was interesting, though, but the story was a complete joke. And so here we have Vanille from Final Fantasy XIII, and I know she's a very divisive character. Some people loved her, and a lot of people hated her, but I didn't mind her that much. I didn't think she was that bad of a character, but someone gave her a goth appearance, and so, yeah, that model was fine. It was well ported. Here we have Quagmire from Family Guy. It's a pretty funny model. Once again, more J.C. Thornton models here with Max and Roxanne from a Goofy movie. And so, you guessed it, just like the other models he did, you can undress them. Yikes. Otherwise, the models themselves are pretty good. They're easier to pose compared to some of his other models, so that's nice, but still kind of creepy how you can undress them. Otherwise, yeah, like, I think this is the first time we've ever seen these characters in, like, HD, for say, because, yeah, I know there were some old computer games back then that had, like, really primitive models of Max, and so this is the first time we've at least seen Roxanne in 3D, and I think both of them look great in this style. Really looks like they leapt off from 2D to 3D, and, yeah, it looks nice. Oh, God, we got Gruntilda from Nuts and Bolts. Let's just say I did not like the art style in Nuts and Bolts. I think the game is okay when you look past the fact that it's a Banjo-Kazooie game, but I did not like the art style. I hated how blocky it was. I hate how plastic the characters look. Just was not a fan of it. And here's a really cool model. It feels more like a level, though, but Halberd from Super Smash Brothers, so Meta Knight's ship from the Kirby series, but as it appeared in the Smash Brothers games, and so, my god, this is such a huge model. It practically changes the level you're in. It warps one level into another. For some reason, it causes a clone effect where you see a bunch of the ships in the air. I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen, but because I don't recall Meta Knight having multiple ships. But either way, this is a cool model. And speaking of cool model, here we have Luma from the show Helluva Boss, an animated series, an indie animated series on YouTube. And if you've never checked it out, it's pretty good. But warning, it's got a lot of mature content in it. But so Luna was her name, I think was her name, and so she's like the hellhound basically, and she's definitely the eye candy of the show for many. And so yeah, I like Luna. The only thing I don't like about her is I hate how there's this gimmick where she can transform into a human. I honestly hate it every time they use her human form. I think it's kind of cringy, but otherwise I like her character though. I like how she's just like a character who doesn't. She's just so cynical. She doesn't care about anything, but she also has like a soft side that she kind of hides from others. I like her. She's an interesting character. And so you have a lot of body groups where you can get rid of, for some reason you can get rid of her tail, her socks, and her necklace. Luckily nothing more. But you can also change her hairstyles. That's cool. But yeah, I think it's cool. Someone was dedicated enough to make a model of Luna, and they did a really good job. It does look like the character leapt into 3D, and it's easy to pose as well. So yeah, really nice model. Okay, so here we have a custom model of Honey Cat from... sorry about that. That was an accident. Yikes. And they say Amy has a revealing outfit. But yeah, so she was a character who was meant for Sonic the Fighters, but she was included only through like hacking back then until the Xbox Live Arcade version came out. And so she's basically a Sonification, a Sonic-fied character from an old Sega series. I think it was called Viper Strike. I can't remember its name, but it was a fighting game. There's this character named Honey, and so they made her into a cat for Sonic the Fighters. And nice model. And then we have Christmas Jack Skellington from Kingdom Hearts 2. Nice model. Barry player model from Conker's Bad Fur Day. Oh god, I forgot how... I didn't ever realize how bad her model actually looked, but I knew it looked better on Live and Reloaded by comparison, but and she barely has any facial expressions, and this model's terrible though. Like, you cannot pose the arms. I was trying so hard to lift them up, and they just kept flailing around like that. And what the hell is this Conker player model? Why are his hands so tiny? Somebody help! I've been turned into a marketable plushie! And then we got one of the soldier squirrels, and wow, this thing is just stiff. Not even his tail has any jiggle bones. Yikes. Okay, here we have... sorry about that. Here we have Maximus, as he appeared in Kingdom Hearts 3 from the Tangled movie. And, yeah, this is a really nice model. And the guy did a really good job at porting it over. So his body groups, you can get rid of all of his horse gear. And so, yeah, he has, like, bone structures that are very similar to an actual horse. He's got nice textures, and... yeah, this is a really nice model. But then again, a lot of the models from Kingdom Hearts 3 were helped by people who actually made the models in the actual movies. And they let, like, the animators work with them in a way, or get inspiration from them. So that was really cool. And so I found this, for the last pack in this video, I got this Aladdin pack from Kingdom Hearts. And most of these models are pretty bad. That Abu one was, like, impossible to pose. The Aladdin one is overall a lot better, but the legs are impossible to move. And unfortunately, none of these have face posing. So overall, this was a pretty mediocre porting of these models. I don't blame it entirely on the models, though, because I know, like, despite how they look good for their time, these models are, in fact, pretty low poly. So I remember, like, even when looking through cutscenes in the game, there were certain moments where you could see, like, all these tries kind of jolting out of, like, Genie's shoulders. And so, yeah, it's not just happening here. To be fair, it happened in the game as well. It just wasn't as noticeable as it was in Garry's mod. But that's because in Kingdom Hearts, they were able to have the cutscenes, have the characters in certain angles where it might have been easier to hide what it looked like on the other side. And so you can also change his feet into his ghostly genie tail, and the results are nightmarish. I think he just died. Speaking of dead, oh god. Rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried. But, yeah, Yago, for some reason, he is heavy as a brick. He's impossible to pose. He's probably the worst of the bunch. But Jafar, oh my god, they almost got him right. The problem are his feet. For some reason, his feet are like, it's that like a Rayman character? So, look, it's just floating off to the side. And on the bright side, you can at least pose his cape. That's kind of cool. It's not entirely flexible, but Okay, last model for the night. Here we have Jasmine, and honestly, I'd say this is the better model of the pack. It's pretty flexible, easy to pose. I didn't see any big noticeable like graphical hiccups. Otherwise, she has no face posing, but you can also pose her hair, but it's kind of stiff. Oh yeah, sorry. This is the real last one. The magic carpet from Aladdin, and yeah, it's just a carpet. What do you expect?